Kuphina kuphi emakhaya emadolobheni asekoplasta khona lapho bukela khona SABC 1 sasifikele ke thina mavulandlela nehlelo lakho ilungelo lakho it's your right silethela ke uhlelo lapha kumahamba phambili SABC 1 Mzansi for sure mina ke ngisimpiwe ngcongwane bekunene. Buying a brand new vehicle is no doubt an exciting moment for any consumer, but where do you turn to when you start to experience recurring mechanical problems with absolutely no resolution whatsoever from the dealership? Uyithini ke mbukela inkinga yemoto ke lethengwe isha sha kepha ke uthola ukuthi sengumgodzi longagcini wedinkinga lethi ngapheli. Asisive na umbiko.
Eso ayisosikhalazo singaqhelekanga kubathengi izithuthi. Kodwa xa isithuthi sisitshaqaca akulindelekanga ukuba eso sithuthi sibe nengxaki ungumnini waso wokuqala ngqa. UAngandonyana wathenga imoto yakhe ye-VW TSI Polo ngonyaka ka-2018 nongunyaka apho zakhutshwa ngawo ezimoto zintshaqaca yile nkampani. Uthi watsalwa bubuhle bayo kwaye efuna ukuzivisa kamnandi. Ngelishwa ke uthi zangakwazi konwabela ubumnandi bokubuya evenkileni nemoto entshaqaca ithuba elide nanjengoko wathi xa efuna ukuhla nayo ayengayo kokwabo eMpuma Koloni esuka eKapa wabona apho ukuba ukhona undonakele kuba yayisokola kumaqhina kwanyanzeleka ukuba ayicenge athi chu ngogiya 1 uyokungena kwelinye iphondo.
I bought my car in 2018 on the 29th of August. So ngo-December, undangoduka, I experienced problems where imoto yayistrugglisha unyuka ku-incline. I had to bala ndisebenzise ugear 1 for imoto ukunyuka ku-incline, and also it was rolling back on incline.
Uthi zangakwazi nokuhla isonyuka ngayo ngexesha leholide ngenxa yezingxaki nezibane zemoto zazingasebenzi kakuhle.
So they fixed the lights and then bandixelela that lights it's a manufacturing problem. So bazifixile. So after that ke ngoku bandisokolisa. I had to communicate with VW South Africa. So bathi bayifixile. But ke after xesha ndayiva imoto isoyisakala again as a result the moto andipaki on incline.
Ngelishwa ke zange ziphele apho ingxaki zakhe zokulungisa imoto nanjengoko emane banengxaki nale moto emva kwenyanga okanye iveke ezimbalwa eyilungisile.
After that okay mandithathe le moto ndise eVW ndibhukishe pha bayijonge uba what is the problem because it was getting worse like every day. And then when I got the principal dealer shouted at me, telling me that it's my driving.
Oku kwamenza ukuba ayokukhalaza nakumaqonga onxibelelwano nekulapho wafumana khona nabanye abathengi abakhala ngale ngxaki abafana noAbongile Manka naye eyithenge ngalonyaka mnye ka-2018.
I bought the Polo 2018 on June 2018. I drove it for 6 weeks before it stopped. I was in a slight traffic that time before I smelled the clutch burn. A few seconds after that, I couldn't change into gears. A few seconds after that, the car stopped. I was in motion. I was surprised. It's a new car.
Uthi oko isehliswa isonyuswa inkampani maxa wambi inkampani ithi le ngxaki idalwa yindlela aqhuba ngayo imoto nangona echithe iminyaka emithandathu eqhuba imoto phambi kokuba athengele. Uthi kukaninzi ecela ukunikwa enye imoto endaweni yokuba ilungiswe kodwa izikhalazo zakhe zingathathelwa ngqalelo de wayokufikelela kwiofisi kanozikhalazo kweli candelo lemoto.
The very next day, I called VW to find out what was going on. VW, the response was horrific. They claimed that I had driven the car in a bad way that caused the car to stop. Then I said to them, I had a VW car before, go check my service history.
Aba baqhubi barhanela ukuba kubekho ingxaki kulwakhiwo lwezi zithuthi ingakumbi ezi zohlobo abalithengileyo lonyaka ka-2018.
They assured me that I must ignore the smell, it's going to go away. The smell never went away. I went there. Every 2 weeks I would go there and they said it would. Eventually I got tired of going there and wished the smell would go away. Hey, lo and behold, December 2019, exactly 12 months and a couple of months after they had fixed that car stopped again.
Ukanti ke sibhalela imibuzo inkampani yase-VW nanjengoko ibithe ifuna ukuyiphendula ngembalelwano ye-email kodwa ibingekaphenduli ngethuba sishicilela elinqaku. Umthetho okhusela abathengi Consumer Protection Act uyabavumela abathengi ukuba bayibuyisele impahla xa ingekho mgangathweni wonelisayo, umntu anikwe ithuba lokuba ilungiswe loo mpahla okanye anikwe enye kungenjalo abuyiselwe imali athenge ngayo. Ingaba ke xa kuziwa kwizinto ezinjengezithuthi kutheni nalo mthetho ungasebenzi ngaloo ndlela, ingakumbi xa kungekapheli isiqinisekiso seso sithuthi, iwaranti ukutsho. Nobathembu Zantsi, Yilungelo Lakho.
Asibonge lo mbiko lesiwendele nguNobathembu Zantsi. Manje ukhuluma kabanti ngendzaba yetimoto ke letinshansha kodwa ke bathengi ke noma ke banikati bato batfola ke tinkinga letingapheli. Uthini ke uma utfola kulesi simo ungatfoli isitho. Tivakashi tethu namhla ke ngina Lucious Bodibe lo mele ke imoto industry ombudsman, sina McCraw from the National Automobile Dealers Association, siphinde sibe na Joseph Selolo lokhulumela ke National Consumer Commission. He joins us via Zoom. Gentlemen, a very good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for joining us and a warm welcome to the show. All right, I'm going to start with you, Lucious. What rights does a consumer who purchased a brand new car have, just in case where the car is starting giving him problems just a short period after he's purchased the car?
Simpiwe, the Consumer Protection Act 68 of 2008, CPA, was enacted for, amongst other things, to protect and to promote the economic interest of consumers.
Yes.
Now, this act, Section 4, gives a list of people that can approach the motor industry Ombud when a dispute arises or when a dispute reaches deadlock. Now, the consumer have a right in terms of the Act, Section 55 in particular, to goods that are in good working order and are free of defects. These goods must be usable and durable for a reasonable period of time. So that's the rights that the Consumer Protection Act gives to consumers. It also gives you 6 months warranty on any goods bought, regardless of used or new.
Now, Kerry, your thoughts and the Automobile Association's dealer's position on this?
We fully support the conditions that are set out in the Consumer Protection Act.
Yes.
But you must remember, when a new vehicle is sold, it is sold with a manufacturer's warranty. And invariably, that warranty is longer than the 6 months that is specified in terms of the CPA. Certainly, a manufacturer doesn't manufacture a motor vehicle with defects or purposely with defects.
Yeah.
And the vehicle has thousands of moving parts. It's highly complex. It's got a lot of technology in it, computer technology, etc. So there are, from time to time, issues that will arise. Our advice to the consumer is, as soon as your vehicle is giving a problem, take it back to the selling dealer where you bought it from, get it seen to. If you're not getting any joy from the service advisors and that, ask to speak to the dealer principal within the dealership, because that's the person who's in charge. That person will have a look at it. They will then escalate any problems that could be a potential defect of a part in the motor vehicle to the manufacturer, and they will get guidance from the manufacturer on how to deal with that problem.
You're quite right there, Gary, when you said that the manufacturers don't intentionally manufacture cars with defects. But when it happens, should it happen, God forbid, should you encounter a problem, it's the attitude of the dealers that is a bone of contention. We've heard Abungile earlier in the insert saying that the dealership told her that they actually blamed her driving for having recurring these problems.
Unfortunately, within certain dealerships, you've got certain staff that maybe take on that attitude, but I don't think it's a general issue within dealerships to have an aggressive relationship with their customers, because they need to have happy customers. If they don't have happy customers, they're not going to get return business. So if a consumer has that sort of interface with somebody in the dealership that's not trying to resolve their problem, again, escalate it to the dealer principal of that dealership, and I'm sure it'll get resolved.
Yeah. Joseph, let me also bring you into this conversation. To what extent does the CPA protect consumers and car owners alike when it comes to defects in their cars?
Good afternoon to you and to the gentlemen in studio, as well as the viewers.
Good afternoon.
The Consumer Protection Act protects anyone who purchases a vehicle, irrespective of whether it is brand new or used. It requires that that vehicle be free of any defects and be usable and durable for a reasonable period of time, which has been determined to be the 6 months as indicated by Lucious. Now, should you then experience problems with that vehicle in that period, you are then within your rights to exercise your options to a refund or a repair or a replacement. So it is entirely within you and it is your choice.
Yeah, just picking up on that point, I mean, in cases where a consumer demands that their brand new car be replaced with another car, whose call is it? Whose choice, whose decision is it whether the car should be replaced or repaired?
Look, as a starting point, the law is unambiguous. It says at the discretion of the consumer. However, the law being is then interpreted by entities, bodies that are tasked to do so, being the National Consumer Tribunal as well as our courts. So it will depend on the nature and the extent of the problem, where you can then demand a replacement, a repair, or a refund. If the defect is so small that it doesn't go to the heart of the car, meaning it doesn't render the car incapable of being operated, then you will not necessarily be able to request a replacement or a refund.
All right, Gary, do you agree that the customer or the consumer also bears the right to demand a replacement?
Well, the consumer has the right to elect up front whether he wants the car to be repaired, he wants a replacement, or he wants a refund.
Yeah.
And again, I think our previous speaker mentioned it. It depends on the functionality. If the defect is such that the car cannot do what it was supposed to do, get you from A to B, do on a regular basis without hindrance, then you must probably have got the rights to do it. But if it's a minor part that's caused a problem, then you'd be able to have that part replaced fully,
right,
and the car will then be functional.
Right,
so
right.
Each case needs to be viewed on a case-by-case basis,
yeah,
and discussed with the dealership in consultation with the manufacturer. Mm-hmm. If you're not getting any joy through that process, the consumer can come to the National Automobile Dealers Association. We have consumer complaints people, and we'll look into it. If we can't resolve it, it can be escalated to the Ombud, and if the Ombud can't resolve it, then it can go to the NCC at the end of the day.
All right. Now, Lucious, what kind of cases has the Ombuds Office has had to dealt with when it comes to such cases?
We deal with a variety of complaints. They range from service, sales, terms and conditions, complaints that emanate from defects. And I can tell you now, I think top 10 of our complaints, number one on the complaints derives from engine. So there are many of them are engine-related problems. But what actually happens during the sale of a vehicle, it is that what leads to a consumer's dissatisfaction. We've seen cases where a consumer buys a used car today, and that vehicle breaks down even before he reaches home. And when the consumer go back to the dealer and say, listen, I don't want this car, I want my money back, then the dealer would actually plead poverty that we have cash flow problems, we can't refund you. And it's happening throughout the whole South Africa. And this is one of the reasons why the ombuds were created, in order to make sure that we promote the spirit of fair play.
Yes.
We have cases where one of the cases that I've seen is the car that could not unlock a day after the consumer has bought it. And the dealer just said to him, listen, every time you want to access your car, you must think like a thief. Mm. I mean, we are talking of a person that bought a vehicle in good faith. And remember, a consumer buys a vehicle for a reason. A consumer can buy this vehicle because he's about to retire, he wants to go in business to transport kids from school,
right,
from home to school. You can be going into a small delivery business or construction business. The Act says that vehicle must meet the intended purpose. So if that vehicle cannot meet the intended purpose, now it is at the election of a consumer to say, look, I cannot actually generate money. That means then if I bought this vehicle on hire purchase or on finance, then it may be difficult for a consumer to repay the monthly installments, you see. So we're dealing with a variety of complaints. Like I said, product-related, terms and conditions, the conduct of the dealerships staff as well, the FNIs that often sell warranties that do not work.
Okay, I'm quite curious there how a thief thinks, but please hold your thought. We'll take a quick break now. Please stay with us. Yilungelo Lakho namhlanje sikhuluma ukuthi nangabe uthenge imoto lenshasha kepha ke iqhubeka ikunika inkinga letinengi lethi ngumgodi longagcini wenda njani next ke amalungelo akho athini ngeke kuloko. Leli lungelo lakho. We'll be right back. Sakubona futhi mbukele tincingo tefe sathivule ukuthi nawe ungaba ingcenye yale nkulumo yethu namhla ungashayela icingo ku 011 7146918 noma ke 011 7146919 ungasithumela futhi na email ku consumer@sabc.co.za ungasithona futhi na ku Facebook. Let's take our first caller. Sina Sisa ulapha ke elusikisiki sakumele ehleleni sabona. Sisa
molweni kuthini njani?
Siphile kunjani baba?
Siyaphila baba Khonto.
Khuluma nathi baba, what's on your mind?
Yes, Busiman, ndifuna ubuza apho kuni into yokuba okokuqala umama wami wathenga imoto kwi-dealer. But imoto wayithenge kwi-dealership. I-description yayo kwathiwa yi-automatic.
Yeah.
Bathengisela le moto i-automatic nge-selling price yemoto eyi-automatic. But uthe xa usenza i-insurance yanequery yathi le moto lena uyithengiselweyo ingathi ayo-automatic, yi-manual. But emveni eye kwi-dealership le eyoyichazela into yobana i-insurance ithi le moto yi-manual ayo-automatic. I-dealership yayitshintsha inantsika i-description yemoto yayitshintshela to yi-manual instead of i-automatic. But then i-selling price ayizange itshintshe after that. Bamsayinisa i-contract esenala selling price ye-automatic.
Let me get this clear. Ukuthi le moto nakayithenga ike yaba netinkinga yini? Ike yaba nama problems?
Ayizange ibe nankinga yona per se. But i-issue yethu ne-dealership ibikubana i-dealership nangoku itshintshe i-description yemoto to i-manual. Ayikhange itshintshe selling price from i-price ye-automatic. Iphinde yamnika imoto i-manual with that same high price ye-automatic.
Okay. Sisa siyabonga kakhulu ukushayela ke noma ke namhla ke besikhuluma ngendaba yokuthi nangabe uthenga imoto insha ikunika inkinga yini ngemalungelo akho nangabe upheka uyibuyisela kule dealership ungatholi usito kepha ke siyabonga kakhulu ukushayela. And before we move on to our next point, Lucious, I'm going to ask you to to answer that. Basically, in a nutshell, Gary, he's saying that his mom bought a car and it was an automatic, yet the selling price was pegged at the level of a manual car. So it's giving him problems in that regard.
Yeah, look, I think the latest document will give you the description of a vehicle.
Yeah.
And the description of the vehicle will also reflect on the offer to purchase and the final tax invoice. So we don't know actually what happened here. Is the mother that bought an automatic vehicle or a manual vehicle, and the insurance perhaps took it that this particular vehicle could be an automatic. You see, so in this case, I suggest that they get all the latest documents and the offer to purchase, and also maybe ask the OEM to give them a manufacturer's letter that confirms the date of build, the first date of warranty inception, and the description of the vehicle, right, so that this matter can be cleared. And I think what the dealer did there, if I understood him correctly, they only amended the contract without even looking at the price difference.
The price difference, yeah. Now, Gary, speaking of insurance, what's the first point of call should I experience a problem or a defect in my brand new car? Should I go straight to the dealership or should I approach my insurance to take care of it?
Okay, your first port of call is directly the selling dealer, where you bought the vehicle. If you're not in the same town anymore, you go to the franchise of that particular vehicle and go to a dealer there and get them to inspect the car.
Okay.
Remember, the car is under warranty, and that warranty is underwritten by the motor manufacturer of that particular brand. Insurance that you generally have to take out, which is your comprehensive insurance or third-party fire and theft, that is in case your car is stolen or you're involved in an accident. It's not to cover the type of insurance of defective parts. However, if your car is out of warranty and you've bought an extended warranty through another insurance company, then you would have the right to go and contact that insurance company first to get authorization to get repairs done under that insurance extended warranty for the vehicle.
Okay. Now, speaking of the 3 R's, so what determines me moving from one R to the next? Say, for instance, I buy my first brand new car and then I take it in for repairs and then I take it in for a replacement. So who determines that it needs to be replaced or it needs to be replaced again?
Again, up front, as we said earlier, you've got the consumer's got the election to either repair, replace or refund.
Okay.
But we've spoken about the refund, the consequences of a refund. The car needs to be unfunctional totally. So let's look at a part. If the part he elects for a repair and the repair goes faulty or something else in that unit goes faulty after the repair, then he has the right to either having the replacement or a refund. But again, it would more likely be the replacement of that unit to make the car functional again, because you don't want to go through the replacement of the car just for one small part. So that's really the process that you're going to follow.
And then when it comes to a refund, is it refunded at the value at which the car was bought, the retail value that is, or at the current value of the car?
Again, it's going to be on a case-by-case basis. There's going to be costs. So you would take it at the value that you bought the vehicle, less cost for usage because it depends on how long you've had the car.
Who determines those costs?
Okay,
for
those
usage?
costs are built in, and it's in the CPA. It's the amount of mileage you've done, and then it's costed at, and I think the Ombud uses currently the SARS rates,
Okay.
and they work out what that is. There's also depreciation on the car, because you must remember, when a car is brought back, it cannot now be sold again as a new car. It is a used car.
Right.
And there's depreciation, and normally you will lose something between about an 18% loss in that first year of depreciation.
Lucious?
So those costs are there.
Okay. What do you think of that, Lucious?
Okay, let me put it this way. There can be a situation where, I'll give an example. People in Stekspruit and Alua North buy vehicles from Bloemfontein. Okay, that vehicle breaks down in Bloemfontein completely. And the excise, the dealer or the supplier must fetch that vehicle at their own risk and expense. I always remind dealerships that says, oh, he can bring the vehicle back, let's see what's the problem. It's not how it works. The excise, if a consumer gives you a chance to fix, then the supplier must collect that vehicle at their own risk and expense.
Yeah.
Now, let us say the consumer elects to have that vehicle repaired. And within 6 months after that repaired, the excise, if the same failure or further defect or any other defect is detected, neither the dealer nor the consumer has a discretion. The excise, they must cancel the deal or replace the goods. Now, in replacing the goods, let's say it's impure for, like the Ombud, the duty of the Ombud, amongst other things, is to maintain fairness at all times. If you use that vehicle for 3 days, does that mean that you have used you have enjoyed usage of the vehicle? I mean, let's be fair. You drove only from the other side of the road to SABC.
Yeah.
For 3 days. Have you enjoyed usage? Now, the case manager who is handling that case must be in a position to be a good detective. You must be able to see whether there's fairness or unfairness in terms of the cost of usage. Because now, at the end of the day, is a consumer that bought a vehicle in good faith, but then the dealer did not sell that vehicle sometimes in good faith. So,
all right. Please hold that thought, Lucious. And Joseph will also come back to you in a moment, but for now we'll have to take a break. Asiphinda sibele ngasetolo ke bekunene ungasanyakadi leli lungelo lakho. Welcome back. Khumbulani ke bantu abakithi ukuthi incingo tethu ke sivuliwe ukuthi nawe ungavakalisa umbono wakho. You can call us on 011-714-6918 noma ke 011-714-6919. You can also email your thoughts to consumer@sabc.co.za or visit our Facebook page. Namhla ke sikhuluma ke ngekuthi ke nangabe uthenge imoto lensha sha kepha ke iyachubeka ikunika inkinga despite taking it to the dealership so many times and not getting any assistance. What do you do? What are your rights? Yini ke malungelo akho kuloko. Namhla ke sina Gary McCraw, Gary siphinde sibe na Lucious Bodibe kanye ke na Joseph Selolo. Now Joseph, what are the appropriate laws that this industry must adhere to?
Yeah, it is the Consumer Protection Act as far as the quality of the goods are concerned. However, there's two issues that I want to deal with. The first being about the caller relating to a manual car sold for the price of an automatic and described as an automatic, and the second being the alleged cost of use or cost of enjoyment. Now, the consumer says the car they bought was sold as an automatic. It's not clear how they did not see that it wasn't an automatic, but was sold as an automatic for the price of an automatic when it was a manual. Now, that's very unscrupulous. In the CPA, it is called unconscionable conduct, which the CPA seeks to outlaw. The consumer is entitled to the difference in the price, and he should pursue that complaint through relevant Ombud, failing which is contact the NCC. Now, I've heard about use and enjoyment. Now, you see, enjoyment is not a one stream. You may have enjoyed the jalopy that you were sold during that period, but the seller enjoyed your money during that period. We cannot ignore that fact that at the time, they may have had interest accruing to their bank accounts or have used that money to further their businesses. So in as much as they may be saying we are entitled to use, it must be borne in mind that you as the consumer are also entitled to the interest you would have made on your money had you had your money yourself. So it is not, fairness in this case is not to say you had a car, you drove to town, you drove to a shebeen, and now you enjoyed the car, therefore pay us for the enjoyment. They must also take into account the fact that they had your money for the equivalent period. They must then pay you the interest on that money. Thank you.
And having said that, Joseph, you're actually making a very valid point. What do you think gives car dealers and car dealerships the audacity to victimize consumers and deprive them of their rights to get a replacement, even when they are eligible to get one?
Yeah, the first issue at best is simple ignorance of the law, and the second issue is simple unscrupulousness on the part of the main dealers that we see. It's as simple as that.
All right, thanks for making that point, Joseph. Let's now take next caller, Sina Themba. Ulapha ke Witbank. Sakumele ehleleni Themba, sawubona?
Sawubona bithi.
Siphilile kunjani baba?
Ngiphilile kunjani ku?
Siyaphila. Khuluma nathi baba. What's on your mind?
Ngathengisela ilemon intimoto enama-defects amaningi futhi. Ngomhla ka-17 July 2020. Mine reporter ukuthi iyahlupha le moto. Bathi bazoyilungisa. Ngasuka ngayo eJoburg. mangifike eWitbank unkosikazi wafika kuyo ayothenga eshop nakaphuma ayisafuna ukuduma sayinikisa ku-temporary kulo eHunday ngathenga iHunday Texan sayinikisa egarage sayicelela khona ukuthi basi-attendele yona but no I qualify for garage service because it's a second hand car. Batshela
nokuthi beyisasenayo le warranty.
Yeah, besisenayo.
How?
Because they are 2016 and then ngithenge ngo-2017 njalo ngithenge ngo-2020.
Okay.
Saba naleyo nkinga-ke ukuthi uma sikhuluma ne-dealer isitshela izitori eziningi bagcina sesibuye ngayo la eWitbank yangabi sakhona ukuhamba sayifaka lapha sacela laba base-Hyundai garage ukuthi basisize but no I-qualify ukuthi ngasisiza sayiletha ekhaya-ke loko yema ekhaya
solo yema ever since
angizwa
solo yema le moto ekhaya ever since ayihambi
loko yema ngo-2020 ngo-August so it's almost 2 years manje imile ngayithenga cash mhlambe benziwa yiloko ukuthi bangijikajikisa.
Okay, Temba, please stay on the line. Now, Lucious from the Motor Industry Ombudsman. Lucious, do you want to respond to that?
Yeah, look, it is clear that the consumer did not know what his rights are in terms of raising his complaint with regard to the defective vehicle. He is in Mpumalanga. I can advise him to go to the local consumer affairs. However, because the vehicle was bought in 2017, 2020.
Yes.
We always advise consumers that when you buy a used vehicle, a second-hand vehicle.
Joba Temba is still on the line.
Yes, there's a local consumer affairs in Mpumalanga.
Local consumer affairs.
Yeah, they have an office in Witbank and another office in Nelspruit. So it will depend with his place of residence. If he's around Nelspruit, he can go to Nelspruit. If he's in Witbank, he can go to the local office in Witbank.
Okay, Temba seba ukhulisa Temba uthi sitagala lapho ke utheke Lucious ungaya eWitbank office le local consumer affairs. Likhona ke lapho khona eWitbank. Siyabonga kakhulu kusishayela and please stay tuned to SABC1 ngoba na Gary ke ukhona. Gary, basically what Temba is saying is that he bought a car in 2020 and then it gave him a series of problems and he only reported the car, he never took it in, but when he attempted to drive to Joburg, somewhere along the way it gave him problems, and then when he took the car in they told him that it doesn't qualify because it's still a second hand. That is absolutely bizarre.
No, it's a second-hand motor vehicle. If he bought the car, he had the same rights in terms of the CPA to the 6-month warranty on the vehicle, implied warranty. The vehicle should have given him the service that it did. So he has exact same rights as though he was buying a new car. The difference is that some of the wear and tear items might not carry the same because, you know...
But it's still on warranty. It still has a warranty.
And it was under warranty. He should have gone straight back to that dealer and that dealer should have repaired the faults on that vehicle.
So what should he do now? Because the dealer gave him a raw deal.
The dealer, if he can't get any joy from the dealer, as right, he should go to the Ombud or the Consumer Affairs.
Okay.
If they're a member of the RMI or NADA, they can come to our offices and we will investigate.
Okay.
The same as what the Ombud will do.
Please hold it, we'll come back to that point after this break. Mbugele, let's take another break. Hlala, uthi ungasanyakati, siyabuya khona nyalo. Welcome back. This is a very, very interesting conversation we're having today. If you've bought a brand new car and it's giving you problems, thinking and you're going back and forth with dealership, what are your rights? We are here for you today, and our guests will try to answer your questions. You can call us on 011-714-6918 or 011-714-6919. These are participation lines. You can also email your thoughts to consumer@ at sabc.co.za or catch us on our social media platforms, ikakhulukati Facebook. Let's take our next caller. Sinamdu ulapha kumtubatuba sagumulo ehlelweni Mdu sawubona.
Hello?
Mdu, is this Mdu? Okay, we seem as soon as we've sorted it out, we'll definitely come back to our caller. No, now Joseph, earlier on, we before we went to that ad break, besine call lapha ulapha eWitbank uthi wathenga ke imoto and then yamnika ke tinkinga bamtshela nakayibuyisela e-dealership bamtshela ukuthi ayisaqualify ke ukuthi bayilungise noma ke athole i-replacement ngendzaba yokuthi ke uthenge i-second hand. Lokho is very bizarre. It strikes me as weird.
No, not at all. Lobabe Bank appears to have bought a vehicle from dealership A, which does not appear to be the brand dealer. And then when he had problems, he called dealership A with the problems. But when eventually the car packed up, he went to Hyundai. He used the name Hyundai. And Hyundai then said, no, your car is not within warranty. And they were within their rights to say so because they didn't sell me the car, and he came to them with another person's problem. In law, you are required to go to the person from whom you bought and bring your problems there. The supplier say, I bought this vehicle from you, and these are the problems I have. You cannot go to a different person and seek to be responsible for the problems of another.
So what was the problem? Gutsi, the problem was the car was not under warranty, or he bought it from a different dealership?
Both. Firstly, he bought it from dealership A. When he had problems, he went to dealership B with a car that was already out of warranty because, remember, he says he bought it in 2016. And we don't know the facts about the mileage and so on, but from the sound of it, the car may have already been out of warranty. But he was supposed to go to the supplier, the person to whom he gave money.
Okay, please weigh in on that, Gary.
I can add clarity.
Yeah.
When he bought the vehicle from dealer A, the vehicle was out of manufacturer's warranty.
So there's different types of warranty.
Yeah, it was the manufacturer's warranty that had expired.
Are told, advised of these different
However, when he bought it from dealer A, he had the CPA 6-month implied warranty in place. And therefore, he should have gone back to that dealer, and that dealer should have repaired the car under the CPA.
Okay.
When he went to dealer B, which was a franchise dealer, to get the car fixed, the dealer advised him, it's out of factory warranty. If I fix this vehicle, then I'm going to charge you. Because I did not give you the warranty, I did not sell, so he had to go back to dealer A, who was going to repair the vehicle under the CPA.
Makes sense. Lucious?
Yeah. What led the consumer to go to a Hyundai dealership? If I heard him correctly, he did approach the supplier of the vehicle with his complaint, but it looks like the help was not forthcoming. And then he had to drive the vehicle further, and they got stuck close to or near a Hyundai dealership. Little did he know that there's a difference between 6 months implied warranty and the manufacturer's warranty. That's why he is talking of service. You cannot be talking of service when the vehicle is broken. So that is exactly what we're talking about today. Do consumers get that service from the dealership when they exercise in their rights? Because he called the dealer and the help was not forthcoming. So he had no choice but to keep driving the vehicle. And we are talking of a lay person here. He does not actually know that driving the vehicle further actually leads to more failures. It actually aggravates the problem. So consumers are left with no choice. We've seen it happening. In our office, we see cases where consumers are left without any option. A dealer would say, drive it slowly until you get to our place. But what does the X say? The X say, immediately when the consumer approaches you to say, listen, I am stuck with my vehicle, or this vehicle is jerking, you have a responsibility as a dealer or service provider to say, stop right there I will send someone to come and fetch the vehicle because the Act says they must collect that vehicle at their own expense.
All right, and the big question is, are they advised of the different kinds of warranties? Because they've just thrown with these big words that they may not necessarily understand. But hold your thought, Lucious. Yes. Let's now take our next caller. Sina Winnie, ulapha Cape Town. Sagumuhle hlelweni sawubona. Winnie in Cape Town. Sagumuhle hlelweni sawubona.
Hello.
Winnie, kunjani?
Ngiyaphila futhi njani?
Welcome to the show. What's on your mind, sis?
Thank you. I had the same issue with VW. So I got my car from another dealer, not directly from VW. It was a second model. It was a 2018 model. And then when I got the car, within 3 months of having bought the car, it was still under warranty and under service. So it had, I had a problem with the gearbox, and they had to change the entire gearbox. That was the first problem. And then after they've done that, I had another issue where the clutch break. And then when I took it to VW, they were asking me if I rested my foot on the clutch. And I was like, that is impractical because you can't really drive with your clutch with your foot on the clutch. So it broke down and they had to fix it again. And a year after that, it broke down again and they had to fix it. And then after that, it broke down again after like 6 months. And then I had to pay it out of my pocket because it was already...
Was it the same problem or something else?
Outside of warranty. So, and then I had to sell it because I thought it was not feasible for me to fix the clutch every year. And it was not just me, because one of the other things that they highlighted was that probably because I'm a new driver, I'm not driving accordingly or whatever. But I found that also with experienced drivers, they had the same issues. So, but basically, now I'm careless because of, VW doing. I believe it's a manufacturer problem. I don't believe it had anything to do with my driving. But, that's what they told me. And now,
All right, Winnie, great chatting to you. Thank you so much for your call. Please tune in. Well, stay tuned to Yilungelo Lakho on SABC 1. You'll get all the answers after this break. Mbukeli, please do join us after this break. Don't go away. Welcome back to our very final segment. Unfortunately, gentlemen, we are out of time, so we literally have 3 minutes. I'm going to give you a minute each. Gary, what do you make of Winnie's call earlier on? She basically said that she bought a car and then she kept on, she repeatedly experienced recurring problems within the car to a point where she started paying from her own pocket.
Yeah, so Piwe, I think the problem was there. She was dealing maybe with a service advisor who wasn't escalating the problem up to a service manager level or to the dealer principal level within that dealership. She should have actually insisted on that to get advice, and she shouldn't have gone and put her own money into that until she had the problem resolved.
So if the problem is resolved and then they find that it is still under warranty, yet she had to cough up from her own pocket in terms of replacing fixing the car,
if she had paid,
would she get a refund?
If she had paid in that dealership, she potentially would have got a refund. But if she'd gone to another workshop outside the franchise, then she most probably wouldn't, because she would have negated the warranty at that point in time.
Okay. Lucious, your thought?
Section 56(1) says, if you encounter any problem with a vehicle that you just bought, you must approach the seller before you can think of fixing or altering that vehicle. Yes. So we advise consumers that if you experience a problem with your vehicle immediately after you bought it, insist on your rights. Elect your rights carefully. You have a right to repair, the right to replace, and right to refund. Do not drive that vehicle further. And if you have a complaint and the complaint reaches deadlock, please allow the dealership at least 30 days to resolve the complaint. Okay.
How is your office reachable?
Our office is reachable. You can visit us on our website, www.miosa.co.za, and you can log a complaint on the same platform. You instantly receive your reference number. There's no more 24-hour waiting period. So we've gone online. Everything works perfectly. And
what's your office number then?
Our office number is 010
Yes.
598 8790.
Okay. Now, Joseph, your final thoughts about this matter and le issue kawini?
Yes. Again, it goes to the facts part. Consumers are advised that should they have such problems, they and as my colleague said, that they should try to communicate with the dealer principals, and if they are not able to do so, contact consumer protection offices. They are in every province, and if that is not helping, you can contact the provinces and you contact the ombudsperson to try and resolve the complaints. And when that fails, then you lodge a complaint with the National Consumer Commission for us to then investigate. But do not keep going back and going back to get the same results. Do contact the ombuds, do contact the consumer protection offices for assistance.
All right, Joseph Selolo, Lucious Bodibe, and Gary McCraw, thank you so much to you three gentlemen for joining us. We do appreciate your time. Ake bekunende sesingeva isikhathi futhi ke sifika ke emaphethelweni ehlelo lethu namhla. Ngithike ngibonge ivakashi lethu ngesikhathi sabo. Ngithaza bonga kanye nyani babukele ngekuba nathi kuze kube ngimanje. Please do join us again next week for yet another live consumer affairs discussion from me Simphiwe Ngwane and the rest of the team. Sizeke nitsale kahle, wishing you a great week ahead. Cheers.
Yilungelo Lakho,